Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you how to cut and sew this stylish Veekee James top with a structured ruffle sleeve. So if this is something you like, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So to start, I've gone ahead to mark my basic measurement, which includes my shoulder to bust, my shoulder to under bust line, which is 12 inches, my shoulder to waistline, which is 17 inches, and I added 3 inches for my top length. So you can use this or any desired top length of your choice. Now I'll move over to the upper part of my pattern and I'll go ahead to mark my shoulder divided by 2. My shoulder is 14 inches divided by 2, I have 7. I'll be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll go ahead to place and I will draw this out. So after I'm done drawing out, I'm going to mark my armhole or my chest line. To do that is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Mine is 7 and I made a mark there and I will draw a straight line connecting that line. After I'm done drawing a line there, I'm going to be measuring what I have on the shoulder. That is my shoulder divided by 2. I'll go ahead to mark it at this point. This is to make sure that I have a straight line at the armhole before drawing out my armhole curve. After ruling out this line, I'll be dividing my armhole into 2 by folding my tape and I'll just go ahead and mark. From that point, I'll come in by ½ inch. Going down to my chest line, I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4, which gives me 8.3, and I will mark. From that 8.3, I'll connect from that point to the midpoint of the armhole and to the upper part of the armhole. So this is what I have after I'm done marking. So the next step I'm going to take now is to mark my dart. And to mark my dart, I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Mine is 7 inches divided by 2, I have 3.5. So after I'm done marking that, I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line at that point all the way to the upper part of my pattern. So after I'm done connecting the lines, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to come up by 1.5 inches and I'm going to place my ruler and I will draw a straight line. Now connect it back. So after that, I'll be taking a dart intake of 1 inch on both sides of my pattern. And after that, I will also repeat this at the waistline of my pattern and I'm going to mark it also at the top length of my pattern. So after I'm done marking that, I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line at this point at both sides of my pattern. After that, I'll be drawing out the bustier part of my pattern. To do that, I'm going to place my curve drew connect and also go ahead to connect for this side. And I'll go ahead to use my marker to mark it out to make it more visible for you to see. So the next step I'm going to take here is just to go ahead to connect that 1 inch I marked at the upper part and I will connect it all the way to my bust point. So if you're plus size, you're going to be using 1.5 inches at the upper part, or if you're a bit busty, you'll be using 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and I will mark the darts at that point and go ahead to add my sewing allowance. I'll mark my under bust circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace it and add my sewing allowance to that part. Now at the waistline, I'm going to go ahead to mark my waist circumference divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace it and add my sewing allowance. So the sewing allowance I'm using here is 1.5 inches. Now whatever I have on the waistline, I'm going to transfer it to my top length because the waistline is almost close to the top length. But what I'm going to do is to add ½ inch to it. And after that, I will just go ahead to connect from my bust point down to my under bust point, from there to my waist point and to my top length. So I'll just go ahead and connect from that part all the way to the top length of my dress. So after I'm done marking out, this is what I have. So next we are going to work on the neckline, which is a sweetheart neckline, and I'll just connect it to my chest line this way. So after I'm done doing that, I'm just going to go ahead also to come in at this point. So we have a sleeve here. So what I will do is just to go ahead and mark 1 inch from that point. You can use 2 inches, and I will connect it all the way to my pattern this way, and I will mark. So after I'm done marking, I'll go ahead and outline my armhole part, and because of these 2 inches, I'm just going to mark it and then extend my pattern this way, and this will also help to avoid the armhole area not to be too revealing at that side. So I'll just go ahead and mark the rest of my pattern this way. So this is what I have now. So after that, I'll just go ahead to cut out my pattern. So if you find this tutorial very interesting and educative, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and also leave your comments at the comment section. If you also have any question regarding this particular tutorial, please also leave it at the comment section. So now I'm going to place my tape, and I'm going to determine where I want my ruffle to stop. So it's going to stop a little below my waist. So when I place my tape, you notice that my waistline is actually 17, but what I have there is 16, is because we have a shoulder slant on the pattern. I'm going to be using my shoulder to waist point plus 1 inch to cut that part. So moving over to our back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark my basic measurements just like we have for the front pattern, and I'm going to label this my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and top length. Now I marked here as my zipper, and at the zipper I used 1.5 inches. Now the next step I'll take is to go ahead to mark my dart for this pattern. So I'll go ahead and mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2, just like we did for the front pattern, and all my measurement is starting immediately after the zipper line. So after I'm done marking that, I'll just go ahead and draw a straight line connecting my pattern. After that, I'll be drawing out a basic dart intake of 1/2 inch at the waistline of my pattern. So I'll mark 1/2 inch at both sides, and after I'm done marking that, I'll just go ahead and connect this to the upper part, and also connect this at the upper part and take it all the way down. So this is what my pattern looks like for the back side. Now I'll be inserting my body measurements. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add my 1.5 inches sewing allowance. All the measurements start immediately after the zipper point. So at the waistline, I'll be marking my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 28 divided by 4. I have 7 inches. I'll go ahead and mark. Now measure this dart intake of 1 inch, add my 1.5 inches sewing allowance, mark my waist measurement there, and go ahead to add 1/2 inch just like we did for the front pattern. And I'm going to connect from the chest line to the waist, and from the waist to my top length. So after that, I'll be using my marker to connect my pattern all the way to the upper part this way. So this is what I have. So next is to get rid of the bulginess at the back of the dress. I'll go in by 1/2 inch, and I will be connecting this all the way down and connect it all the way to the upper part. So this is the back pattern, and on the chest line I'll extend what I have here, and from here I'll go down a little with 1/2 inch. This is to make sure the zip does not pop up. So now I'm going to be drawing the sleeve parts of the back pattern. So I'm going to get this and measure what I have there. So I have roughly like 1 inch at this point, and what I'm going to do now is after my nipple to nipple line, I'll just mark about 1 inch, and I will be taking this all the way to my shoulder. So just like I used 1 inch for the front, I'm also going to use 1 inch here. So while cutting, if I'm not still okay with this, I'll just go ahead and increase what I have at the sleeve part of my dress. and I'll just go ahead and connect my pattern. So sorry, while connecting I made little mistake there, but I'm just going to go ahead to blend it out very well. Now the next thing is just to go ahead to cut out my back pattern, and after cutting it out we are going to be working on the sleeve of this dress. That is the structured ruffle sleeve that we have on this dress. And please, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please hit on the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So after I'm done cutting out my back pattern, this is what I have. Now for the ruffle sleeve, I'm going to be cutting it on fold. So the length I have here is 17 inches plus 1 inch, making it 18. So, and for this part I have 4.5. Just know that whatever you have here is times 2 for the length, which will be 36 inches. So from that point I went ahead to connect it all the way down. So after cutting, what we are sewing, if we are not okay with what we have at the sleeve, I'll still go ahead to readjust it to suit the dress. So now this is the structured part of this sleeve, and for the ruffle part we are going to be attaching it to the ruffle while we are making the dress. So with this we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and also join us in our next video. Thanks.